Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. A shot of entertainment to the head. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I'm Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone who follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett Lee, Facebook.com/Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting, who host myself, the Everett Lee. I am treading back into the Kentucky Zone Wrestling territory. That's right. I am going back to KCW. I have none other than Kentucky Zone Wrestling event coordinator and marketing manager, and any other title that Mr. Hurricane JJ McGuire gives him. I want to welcome to the podcast Jeremy Hines. How you doing there?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going this evening? Doing pretty good?
Pretty good. Just recovering from especially last week with Hurricane Dorian. That was nuts. I mean, just everything that happened with that. I mean, I didn't expect anything to happen like it did, but it happened, and I just was taken off guard by that because I took a week off. I planned on having great guest on, and it just messed up everything. It messed up my week. It messed up everyone's week. And I feel, like I mentioned last night, I feel for the people down in the Bahamas, man, who got hammered by that hurricane. That was just unbelievable. Have you seen the footage of that?
Oh, it's catastrophic. I mean, I can't even imagine 185 mile an hour winds. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It is. It was
I can't even fathom that.
I know. I wouldn't even know what to do if something like that came over me. And living here in Florida and Daytona Beach, kind of dodged a bullet a few times in the last few years with it. And I thought this was going to be the one. Everyone thought this was going to be the one. But what got me was the news media down here. I don't know how the nation, what the rest of the news and media did across the nation. But for us down here, it was ridiculous. It got to the point where when the hurricane wasn't moving over the Bahamas, they had really nothing to talk about except just talk.
Right.
And they repeat themselves. Yeah, I had to turn off the TV, and I said to my wife, I said, we're going Tampa. I said, this thing takes a turn. We're going Tampa. We'll be safe over on the West Coast. And so I packed up everything, took my wife, my daughter, even my mother, and even my dog, and we went to Tampa. But thank God nothing happened, and my house stayed intact. So, yeah, I dodged that. I know. I was talking with you, and I was talking to a lot of people that were asking how I was doing. And I was like, I'm fine. I was just hanging out here at my aunt's for about 3 days, hung out, and came back. But
yeah, a lot of my family likes to go down to Fort Walton around October. Mm-hmm. It's September, October area. Typically speaking, is hurricane season. And so I asked them, I was like, why do you all like to go down there during hurricane season? They're like, well, the rates are cheap. I'm like, what, you figure? I mean,
mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful area, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's like, I'd like to go there during a safer time, less unpredictable.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just this time of year, it is kind of unpredictable because this is hurricane season. This is a hurricane season right here in Florida, and I hate the months of September, October, and November. Just those 3 months just stinks living down here in Daytona and Florida. It does. It definitely does.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of family down there, during that particular season you're talking about there, September, October, November.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly, in contact with them, just making sure they're okay, and it's a yearly thing, seems like. So
Right.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I can't even imagine living down there like you do. I mean, it's beautiful. I love going down there for, to visit and vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, it can get quite trying sometimes.
It does. It does. I grew up down here. I lived here until I was 16, then moved up to Ohio. Spent 5 years there, moved to Tennessee. And then I spent 11 years there, and I came back. I've been back here for almost 10 years. Been back 9 years. And who would have thought would have went all over the place? But I did, and I just came back home. And like they say, there's no place like home. There's definitely no place like home. And
very beautiful state with a lot to offer. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot to offer, a lot. Especially being here in Daytona during the race week in February. That's insane. I hate going down to International. And if I wanted to go to the mall to International, if you're just going there, you got to pay to park to go to the mall. Because they're afraid that you're going to park at the mall and walk over to the racetrack. And I pull up there.
Wow.
Yeah, I pull up there. It's like $5, $10. I'm like, I'm not going to the race. I don't care right now about the race. I'm trying to go over here into the mall. I'm trying to go to the bookstore to get Hurricane JJ Maguire's latest book. I don't. That's what I'm worried about right now. Not a race. And Bike Week. It's like in March, April. Bike Week, just great. And in October, we have Biketoberfest, which lasts 4 days, unlike Bike Week, which lasts about a week. But speaking of home, where did you grow up at?
I was born and raised in a city here. It's Somerset, Kentucky, and the county population is roughly about 75,000 people. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lake community. Have a lot of tourism that comes in. You mentioned Ohio. We have a lot of people coming in from Ohio and throughout the eastern half of the United States come here because we have such a very popular lake with various activities that go on. Boat races and a lot of fishing tournaments. Different just different recreational activities that go on throughout the year. Mainly through like spring to fall. Occasionally there are some things that go on during the winter season as well, but typically during the warmer climates.
Wow.
But very, very beautiful territory.
That's great. That's great. I'm going up in Tennessee in October. I may have to take a trip up to Kentucky there and stop in on you guys.
We would love to have you, man. Come to a show. Let us know you're coming. We'll set you up. You will not regret coming to the best independent wrestling in the state of Kentucky, bar none.
I hear that. JJ Maguire tells me he talks my ear off about it, and a lot of people, a lot of talent that I've gotten to know from KCW that's been on my show in the last few months.
Oh, phenomenal stars.
Mm-hmm. They're great. They're definitely great. When did you start watching wrestling? What age did you get into it?
When I started watching wrestling, I was really, really young. Grew up watching wrestling with my grandpa, and we grew up. I grew up watching like Memphis Championship Wrestling with Lance Russell and Dave Brown as the commentators, with Superstar Bill Dundee, the Nature Boy Buddy Landell, Jerry Lawler, the whole crew there. Mm-hmm. As well as WCW Saturday Night with host Gordon Sully with all the the Horsemen and all that, and as well as AWA with the Ganyas and Baron Von Raschke, and just a whole slew of classic wrestlers.
Wow, yeah, that was some great times right there with the AWA and WCW. I loved watching WCW Saturday nights when back in the late 90s. That was a good time, and I remember it briefly growing up myself as a kid and stuff, and it was a great time. That right there. Did you watch any WWE, WWF at the time too?
I did, not as much as Memphis Championship Wrestling and AWA and all that, but I did watch, some more so in the Attitude era with, The Rock and Stone Cold and all of them. But I mean, I did follow like when the Junkyard Dog was in the WWF. A lot of the stars like that. It was more so the local, not really local necessarily, but more, WCW and all that, more so than anything.
My father was a big WCW guy. I mean, he loved.
I was huge.
yeah. He loved WCW, and
when you have the Fabulous Freebirds, the Road Warriors, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, even one of my favorite tag teams is the Memphis days, the Fabulous Ones. It's actually Fabulous Ones. Stan Lane and Steve Keirn was actually my favorite tag team of all time, and then actually one of my favorite wrestlers of all time coming out of WCW there was Mr. Wrestling number 2.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of ages me there. So
nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that right there, Mr. Wrestling 2.
I mean, I could go on and on about all the. I could go on and on about all the different starters. Growing up watching. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, we could make a separate show just on that alone. I mean, of all the history, of wrestling.
Okay. Let me ask you. We'll say like everyone has a Mount Rushmore of who they think is the best wrestlers. I have a Mount Rushmore. What's your Mount Rushmore? Your top, you see on your top 4 up there, a Mount Rushmore. Who would you have for your Mount Rushmore for wrestlers?
Mine is actually kind of controversial. I don't like the way that everything ended when he passed away or when he did what he did, but I've always been a big Benoit fan.
Mm-hmm.
Highly talented wrestler, big time. I mean, I don't know the whole full story of everything that went down, but with him, and then there was Dean Malenko. I'm a big technical wrestling fan, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I actually personally know Ric Flair, so I mean, I have to throw him in the mix there too. So I mean, I've actually stayed in his hotel down in outside of Atlanta multiple times, and super, super nice guy. Some people say he's a jerk, but I think he's a great dude.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you can't. Ric Flair, he's influenced so many people. Even to this day, he's still he influences a lot of people. A lot of people even imitate and just do what the Nature Boy does. They say like in UFC, like Conor McGregor has a little bit of Nature Boy in him. NFL football teams, sports teams, they do the Nature Boy. They cut the promo. There's a video out there somewhere on YouTube of this in the locker room with this team. They were doing the Nature Boy talk, doing his styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and it's great. I mean, he's such a big influence on people today. I mean, just he's a pulp culture icon. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Everybody tries to. What's the old saying? They say often imitated but never duplicated.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what it is right there. I mean, awfully duplicated.
That cat likes to talk a lot of smack too. He's a big North Carolina Tar Heel fan, and obviously me being from Kentucky, I am a University of Kentucky Wildcat fan, and the last time I was actually down there staying in his hotel was during the a few years back during the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and of course, Kentucky and Carolina getting ready to face each other or whatever, and we had a lot of smack talk that week.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, he like you said, Malenko, another great technical wrestler right there. Man of 1,000 moves.
You got to throw in Guerrero in the mix too, though. You cannot throw. I know you said 4, but I do have to throw Eddie Guerrero in there too.
Okay, great. Another great talent right there. Another great talent. Malenko, I loved when he was doing the thing with Jericho on Nitro, where Jericho had the list of, he said he's the man of 1,001 holds. He's like, move 1, arm drag. Move 2, arm bar. Move 3, wrist lock. Move 4, arm bar. Every other move was an arm bar. And they worked well together. They worked well together. That was such a great thing, man. I mean, Malenko's been my favorite for long as I can remember. I love his Texas Cloverleaf. That right there, I love that finishing move right there, the Texas Cloverleaf, man, because it's painful. It's painful to watch, and he executed it perfectly. As like a technical wrestler like him, having a submission hold like that is great. And if Malenko also too, if you really look at it, he could do some acrobats in the ring too, but he's more grounded. He was more of a grounded wrestler. That's where he would hurt you at.
Yeah, you get on the ground with him, you're done.
You're
done.
Yeah, you're basically done, because the guy was a grounded wrestler, and he what I liked about him, if he was gonna he work on your arm, he's gonna work on your arm, and he's gonna work on it, and then when he decides it's time to finish you up, he's gonna soften you up. He's gonna work on those legs, and then when he thinks you had enough, then he puts you in that Texas Cloverleaf, and that's it. You're done. You're done. And great striker. I loved his strikes in the ring, the way he would strike his opponents. I mean, just with that, just the jab, and I loved it when he would get someone over in the corner and he'd just work them, man. Malenko would just, he was good. He was a good ring technician. He knew what he was going to do when he got in there, before you knew what he was going to do.
As soon as he entered the ring, you could just see it on his face. He was so focused. He was so zeroed in, zoned in big time. I mean, his face, it was like, okay, I'm here. I'm taking him down. I mean, we could dance around for a few minutes, whatever, but you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely. And then you said Ricky Dragon Steamboat. The best 3 matches to me of his career was with Flair. Was Ric Flair there. That best of 3 series he did, going back and forth, was just great. I loved the promo where he was in the ring with Flair and he rips his suit off. Flair bragging about his suit, and then he rips it off of him, and crowd goes crazy, and Flair's going crazy. Flair's in his underwear, basically trying to battle Steamboat.
Yeah,
that was great. That was great. They pulled
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, he did. He pulled some stuff out, man. He did. I mean, Steamboat was great, and he's training people in the NXT. He works down in NXT there in Orlando, and he's training the next generation, and he's phenomenal, man. WrestleMania 3, Macho Man Randy Savage Intercontinental title. That was a defined moment right there for his career, right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That is. And then you said Chris Benoit, great in the ring. The guy could work, man. Especially going up against, like, working with Malenko. They put on some great damn matches, man. They did. Benoit did. And I know, it is, everything that happened with him and stuff there. But if you step back and you look at his body of work that he did in the ring, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself right there, what he did in the ring. Just the matches and stuff he would do. That flying headbutt off the top rope. Jeez.
That's going to leave a mark.
yeah, definitely. I mean, he lost a tooth. He started with the toothless aggression thing, and he ran with it. And he had a good sense of humor about things too. I mean, he was all serious, but then when he can, be funny and come up with something funny, he would do it. I mean, I enjoyed when he was world world heavyweight champion going up against having a match just like with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That was some good stuff there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really good Mount Rushmore wrestlers there. I would have to commend you on that right there. Really great. Really great. When watching wrestling and being a fan of wrestling, how did you get into it? How did that go about? How did that start out for you?
Well, actually, ironically, last year at Cage Fury 11, I went to a KCW event. It was my first, event with KCW as far as just going to the event. I never had been to a KCW event before, and from that day forward, I just fell in love with it. I knew that night I wanted to be involved in any way and every way I possibly could. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal atmosphere, family friendly, everything. I mean, just the whole everything. I wanted to be part of it. I had to be a part of it.
Right. So that led right there, being a event coordinator for KCW. How's that, being an event coordinator, doing event stuff for KCW?
When I first was going into it, I was actually training really, really, really hard, and I was actually going to be I was training to be in the ring.
Okay.
And in a nutshell, I screwed up my neck, and so I had to make a decision because I do have a very good job outside of wrestling that I get paid very well at, and so I had to make a decision as far as if I take a bump on my neck, it could screw me up for the rest of my life,
Right.
But I knew I wanted to still be active in any way I could. But I mean, I knew that being in the ring at that point with my injury, with what could possibly happen, I didn't want to take that chance. But I knew for a fact I still wanted to be involved with it, and so that's why I pursued the avenue of marketing and event coordinating and just being any way possible that I could be involved. I wanted to do, and fortunately, I've been friends with the promoter, and I've been friends with JJ for a while too, and
Right.
it just all worked out great. And I pour in a lot of time outside of work, lunch breaks, whatever, to try to help out in any way I can.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing right there. It's kind of like, in a way, Corey Graves. People know Corey Graves being part of the commentary team on Raw and SmackDown Live. A lot of people don't realize or have kind of forgotten the guy. Corey wrestled. He was great. He was a great wrestler. He was great in the ring. I went back. I was able to go back. The WWE Network was able to put back old NXT, I think, starting back to like from 2012, 13, when Corey Graves was wrestling, and Corey he had to step away from the ring, as like you said there, with you didn't want to mess up your neck, and he had to walk away with because too many concussions, and he didn't know what he wanted to be part of wrestling, but what is he going to do now? And then it worked out for him with becoming part of the commentary team. And that's great that you found something else within KCW to do that's part of wrestling, and that's amazing. I like that, how you found something else to still be a part of it, to contribute to pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my neck injury, I do want to reiterate though, I didn't injure it in the ring. So, I mean, I injured it in the gym, doing some different types of training maneuvers, and I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, I mean, it's now like we're doing the with marketing with the events and doing like sponsorships and trying to get up fundraisers, and recently I've been doing kind of the hype guy, coming out, getting the crowd all riled up and all that stuff, and then recently been appointed as a talent director to help start making matches and this and that. So, I mean, I'm actively involved in multiple avenues in it, and I love every minute of it.
That's great. And you said ring announcing. How did that go about, being a ring announcer? Did it just something that you stumbled into, or what? How did that happen, being a ring announcer?
In a way, I guess I kind of stumbled into it. I have a friend of mine. One of my very, very, very first ring announcing night, I was at another wrestling organization over in the western part of the state called Iron Pro Wrestling, and I was just there actually to, root on one of my friends. It was actually going to be a few of my friends going to be wrestling that night,
Right.
and and I still had my license and everything, so everything was legal. But there was their ring announcer didn't show up. I don't know, something happened, car trouble or something. But anyway, that was my first night. And, needless to say, I was a little nervous because I never had done it before. But I'm always I always am willing for any challenge, any kind of anything. And so, yeah, I mean, I did that. And then, did that a few times. And then we had our fair season this year. I did all the fair shows that we had, and it just kind of led from there. And, I still get a little nervous, a little antsy, I guess, more than anything, but I do a pretty good job.
That's great. My nephew.
Love every minute of it.
I mean, you have to. I mean, look at the promotion you're in. One of the Kentucky's oldest and greatest wrestling promotions in the state. I mean, why wouldn't you love it? I mean,
exactly.
Why would you not love that? It's amazing. It is amazing. My nephew, he did ring announcing one time, and he was given the cards of all the talent, and he it's like read them off. Yeah, I got it. When he's introducing talent come to the ring, he messed up their names, man. He messed up their names. I was at the show, and I was over by the soundboard, and talent's walking by, and they're like, ring announcer can't even say my name. I was like, yeah, that's my nephew, but it was like, nah, I'm not gonna say anything. After the show, he's like, so how did I do? I was like, you did great, except one thing. And he's like, what? And I said, you didn't read the cards like you were supposed to. Oh yeah. I said, you said you got the names wrong. That's one thing you don't do. And it was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. But
my problem is sometimes I'll drink an energy drink sometimes before the show, and by the time the show starts, I get a little wound up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
And sometimes I tend to say things a little too quickly.
Right.
So I can get a little jumbled up with my wordage.
Right. Red Bulls will do that to you, man, and they also give you wings.
Oh yeah, they'll make you fly, all right.
Yeah. I was drinking a Red Bull.
I even had a coat.
I was drinking a Red Bull one time, and someone was like, "You drinking Red Bull?" I said, "Yeah," and they said, "That gives you wings." I said, "Really? I didn't know that."
We had a show a couple of weeks ago in a community, probably like 60 miles away from it. It's called Williamsburg, and one of the matches is a tag team match, and a lot of times with tag team match, I'll combined weight, yada yada yada, and well, on one of the teams I was introducing, it was actually Sully Larkin and Repic,
right,
and on their combined weight, which I mean, I very sound mathematical skills, but for some reason at night I must have left those at home, and I said the combined weight of 310 pounds was actually should have been 410 pounds, and so I thought that was kind of messed up. It said the incorrect combined weight. Everybody's like, "You did a great job," and I was, watching one of the videos the next day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that."
You said the wrong way. I remember watching Raw one night, and it was back when Lillian Garcia was still the ring announcer, doing a ring announcing for the WWE, and I believe it was the Usos came out, and they just won those Slammy Awards, and she introduced them instead of saying Slammy Award winning tag team the Usos, she said Grammy award-winning tag team, the Usos, and everyone got that. that was great. You could probably find it up on one of those botch videos on YouTube. You'll be able to find it on there.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was hilarious, man, because you could tell the commentary team couldn't hold it together. Michael Cole, it was just one of those things that just happens. Anything happens live on TV. Anything happens.
yeah, that's for sure.
Going to take a quick break and give a shout out to the sponsors of Podcast City Network.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3-Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Thing with ring announcing, I mean, you can be out there, once you say it, hey, you said it, wing it. I mean, if you mess up, wing it, go, you know.
Exactly.
You don't have time to back up and do it again. I mean, you got to roll.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, fortunately, I am blessed with a fantastic crew of people that help me out, too. I mean, with the other ring announcers, you have Russell Ryan and James Ellis. They help me out quite a bit.
Right.
So many people in the back help me out. JJ helps me out a lot. So many. I mean, I'm just blessed with the talent around me to help me better or to get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the wrestlers help me out different things. I mean, there's so many. It's just an all around great organization to be involved with. KCW, I wouldn't have it any other way. They're phenomenal out in every aspect.
Right. Speaking of Hurricane J.J. McGuire, did you happen to pick up his book that he just put out? My Life in Hollywood?
Not yet. I'm actually going to probably I'll be getting a copy this Saturday, matter of fact.
Okay. I know.
5 copies for $20 coming up. So we'll discuss that here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that up right there. I already told my wife what I wanted for my birthday next month. She's like, "What you want?" I was like,
yeah,
I want the book. I was like, "If you don't get it to me before my birthday, I'm gonna buy it." And she's like, "What?" I said, "Never mind, but I probably will." I was like, I can't wait. I want to read this book and find out and hear about the stories of him up and down the road and where it's got him, being head of Kentucky's Own Wrestling. I was going to get into talking and asking you about this upcoming event here KCW has. Cage Fury 12. What can you tell me about Cage Fury 12?
There is so much information on Cage Fury 12 coming up this Saturday, Shotville Gym. We actually have golden tickets, VIP pass, 6 p.m., $12. Meet and greet, Wild Eyes, Southern Boy, Tracy Smothers, and picture opportunities with him as well as KCW stars. We have, special match featuring Fiji Wildman versus J Mac. Choice of fan seat where they want to sit at. And then also too, we have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony where we're going to be inducting Todd Neal, former KBWC commissioner, Kentucky Boxing Wrestling Commission commissioner. Lincoln Frost used to be the KCW former No Limit champion. And then also we're going to be inducting the legendary referee Wild Bill. He's currently refereeing with us still, but he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, as well as Hurricane J.J. McGuire, the book you mentioned earlier, My Life in Heaventown. Him and John Coffer both are going to be there with the signed copy for only $20. Right there, alone, all that information just for the early entry at 6 p.m., just that alone. And I ain't even touched on the card. I know we talked about the special match, but I haven't even started on the main card. It's what match you want to discuss first? It's loaded. The whole card is absolutely loaded.
Tell me about this card.
Come out are going to be so. What?
Tell me about this card. I want to hear this card.
Oh wow! Okay, we'll just start off with the Team Darkness Worldwide, led by David Barnabas Spector. Check this line out. Who's going to be bringing? He's going to have a Ross Bray, Scotty Amos, Eric Porter, Matty B, the Alpha Male, BZW, that's what he likes to call himself.
Yeah.
And the original Dark Suede. Going to be taking on Team JJ, led by Tracy Smothers, with Chief Tomahawk, Johnny Bad, KCW champion Cousin Big Frank, and Larry McCoy. That right there is going to be an awesome match.
That right there, yeah. Team Darkness versus Team JJ. Let me ask you, Team JJ, Team Darkness.
Well, both teams have phenomenal talent, and I'm probably going to get killed either way I go here. I do have to pick Team JJ.
Okay.
We've had a lot of darkness on the, KCW lately with Darkness Worldwide, and I think the light will be shining after Case Fury.
Okay.
I'm so dead. But anyway. But now here's the thing. That match is going to be, from bell to bell on that. That match, it could honestly go either way. Phenomenal talent on both sides of, it's just going to be great.
Yes. It looks great. If I was there, I was in attendance, I would be attending it, and I would definitely be seeing this because it can go both ways. It definitely can go both ways. And,
well, let me ask you, who's going to win?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's you got some great.
Isn't it?
It is. You got some great talent.
Jace Thorne and Bobby Brown are not going to be able to be there, but it's actually going to be in their place. Is going to be Scotty Amos. And Ross Bray.
Okay.
Along with Eric Porter, and then of course Matty B and Dark Suede.
Yes, and it's led by David Barnabas Spector.
Yes.
And then on Team JJ, you have Tomahawk, you have the KCW World Heavyweight Champion Big Cousin Frank, you got Johnny Bad, Larry McCoy, and then of course you got Tracy Smothers, man. And it's led by Hurricane J.J. McGuire. Gonna be something, man. It's definitely gonna be something. And you have next on match, you have a bombshell title match.
Yeah.
Representing Darkness Worldwide, Harley Fairfax going up against Michelle there.
Yeah, Michelle Myers, the Queen of the Boom. That's what we like to call her. Well, that's what I call her when I introduce her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Michelle's going to be bringing the title back.
Hopefully. Harley's tough, man. Harley's tough. That's another one right there.
Absolutely phenomenal talent on both sides there. I mean, this whole card from every single match. I mean, either way, you could pick either one of these ladies. Both of them are fantastic talent, phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal talent. And I mean, it could go either way, but I think in the end, I think Michelle will pull it out.
Yeah. It's hard to pick one because this card's stacked so well.
But I'll tell you an interesting tidbit of information here. It looks like in the next match, the tag titles, KCW tag team titles are going to be up for grabs. They had a controversial decision made a couple shows back. I was actually in Indiana, so I wasn't actually at the show. And there was somebody was pinned, and so Sully Larkin and Repit got the titles. Shortly after that, they were taken away, stripped away, and held up for this coming up Saturday. But actually, B.W. Anderson is going to be riding solo until he can find a partner, and so that this should be an interesting tag title match.
Yeah. It should be. I mean, B.W. Anderson. I mean, who's he gonna get? I mean, he's riding solo, and I mean, that's up in the air. What's gonna happen? So hopefully we'll be surprised right there with that. And of course, you have the U.S. title match.
Well, even before we talk about that match, I mean, that's going to be a phenomenal match too. You never can tell on a tag team title match. You never can tell what Repit's going to do, because both Cage Fury shows we've had, the one last year in Shotville and the one we had shortly after in Monticello, he'll actually get up on top of the. I mean, I don't know if he'll do it this coming Saturday, but both of those that I have seen, it's a 16-foot high cage. He'll get up on top of that cage and do a moonsault off the top of the cage. That's phenomenal. I mean, that's crazy. But I mean, it just takes a lot of talent, a lot of guts to do something like that. But yeah, the U.S. tag or U.S. title match is going to be great too. And instead of a fatal 4-way, we're actually going to one up that. It's actually going to be 5. It'll be a fatal 5-way.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have the Chris Rose. Gunnar Grimm, the Grenade Gunnar Grimm, the phenomenal BMW, and Israel. And, of course, you're going to have the classic Chris Sterling. He's the current KCW US champion.
Yeah.
I mean, that match right there could go, either way. I mean, there's 5 guys right there that, I mean, I could pick any of those 5 guys. I mean, honestly, I can't even pick a winner on that one because, like, all 5 are just great. I mean, it could go either way. Now, I mean, legitimately, that match could just go any direction.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I know. D. Chris Rose was the United States KCW US champion there for a long time, man. And Chris Sterling, him getting the title and him running with it, that's going to be interesting right there. I'd have to say, definitely going to be interesting on that.
Yeah,
right
both
there.
of which have been, when Chris Rose, when he was the champion, fantastic champion. Chris Sterling's done, quite well with it as well. I mean, that match right there, I mean, it could just legitimately go, any of them could walk out with that title. Any of them.
Yeah. Anyone can definitely walk out with that title. What else is on the card there?
As far as the matches go, that's about all we have for the evening. But I mean, each match is going to be contested. I'm sure it'll take quite a bit of time to determine the victor.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Team JJ versus Darkness Worldwide with Barnum Spectre. That match alone right there is going to be definitely a barn burner.
Yeah, that is going to be one right there. I think everyone's looking forward to that right there. They want to see what's going to happen with the outcome of that right there. I mean, you just you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen with that.
I can guarantee there'll be a lot of. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of surprises Saturday night.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be a lot of surprises. I mean, you don't know, because I'm looking, into seeing, what's going to be happening with that right there. But
yeah, every match is going to be contested in the ominous, unforgiving 16-foot high steel cage. Every single match. I mean, there's not a lot of places and a lot of organizations can actually say that they did that, and we've actually did that 12 times. I mean, that just speaks volumes for itself.
Yeah. It's 12 times. 12 times. What's been your favorite one? What has been your favorite one out of all these 12s? 12 Cage Furies. What's been your favorite one?
Probably actually last year's, because it was my my first one that I seen, and I was just blown away as soon as I walked in, and when I left, I obviously was blown away. I mean, it was it's nonstop talent by some. It's probably the best talent in the state of Kentucky, if not the whole country, and it's just they put every breath, every sweat, tear, everything into that match, each and every match. You can go to some of these other shows, these other places to put on. There are good shows. It's not a KCW show, but I mean, these guys put it all legitimately all out on the line. They do it for themselves, they do it for the fans, they do it for the love of wrestling, and as respect for the other, for the history of wrestling, for the predecessors. I mean, you have, we have so many wrestlers, even with our own organizations, been in the business for multiple years. I mean, but everybody, each and every person on that roster gives it 1,000% every single night. Every single night.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of places that can honestly say that. Each guy that walks out of that dressing room, 1,000%, if not more. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great talent from KCW. I mean, it looks like Johnny Suede, Jeremy, he says, Jeremy, you will die going in because you picked Team JJ. Dumb on your part. Any response to that right there? Any response to that right there? It looks like Darkness Worldwide is not a fan of you, Mr. Jeremy Hines.
I did give them props. I think they're very highly talented. I mean, but I'm probably not on their Christmas list now. I'm sure. Probably wasn't before, but hey.
Yeah.
But
and
great bunch of talent there. But I mean, I just don't think in the end they're going to be able to pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's going to be unpredictable.
It could go either way. It legitimately could go either way. I mean, phenomenal talent, but when you have to pick, you asked me which one. Now you got me in trouble. So no.
I mean, it's going to be unpredictable right there. And Dark Suede says Darkness Worldwide will kill KCW. It's Dark Suede. Or I don't know. Am I saying your name wrong? Because if I am, please, Darkness Worldwide, David Barner Spector, everyone, don't hate me, man. I'm the middleman.
Dark Suede. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm
the middleman. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just the coordinator for everything here. That's what I do. I'm the coordinator.
Oh, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. He just needs to get a match in him on Saturday. He'll get that. He has some displaced anger.
It's going to be, he says, it's going one way, darkness. That's what he says right there. That's where it's going to be heading. And I don't know. I mean, this is a tough one. I'm usually pretty good. I'm usually pretty good at mentioning and predicting cards, matches. I'm trying to find the words to say it, but most of the time when you have cards stacked like Cage Fury, it's hard to pick a winner and a loser. It definitely is.
Oh, absolutely.
It definitely is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just you don't know what's gonna happen. And of course, he says pain is what KZW will feel. Any response to that there?
Well, I mean, they've launched their darkness over KCW for the past few months, and I just really feel like the light's going to be shining after Cage Fury. And I think there's a lot in store that the Team JJ is going to have that they may be underestimating. And like I said again, they're loaded with talent, phenomenal talent, but in the end, they're going to go home. I guess we're going to be like that with their tails tucked between their legs.
Okay, that's your prediction there. That's your prediction. It's too close for me to call a prediction, though, but I cannot wait to see the highlights of it on KCW's Facebook page there. And he says, because I'm starting in the Cage Fury. That's where Johnny Suede is going to start. Dark Suede, excuse me. Sorry. But looks like you got some fans watching you tonight there. And again, be sure to check out Cage Fury 12, September 14th, Somerset, Kentucky. Right there.
Yeah, the VIP time is 6 p.m., with everything we talked about already.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason fans can't get there at 6 p.m., the doors for the regular entrance will be at 7 p.m., bell time 7:30. And so just a little tidbit there.
Okay. And
but for at 6 p.m., if you can get there, you get so much more to offer. You get the Hall of Fame induction. You have you can check out the special match. You have the meet and greet with Wild Eye Southern Boys Tracy Smothers, as well as KCW stars. Meet and greet pictures. I mean, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. $2 more. I mean, it's going to be absolutely well worth your money. Golden tickets are on sale now, flying out the door. I mean, if you don't already have your tickets, get them now, because they're going to be gone. They will be gone. And don't wait till Saturday, because they will be gone.
Get them now before they sell out. And I've had a pretty good time with you on tonight there. I'm going to read this off to you real quick here. He said, just remember my last interview, Jeremy. And Dark Suede says, Darkness Worldwide is the only VIP. So, Suede's, Dark Suede, Mr. Suede, is full of himself tonight, isn't he? No comment. No comment. You know him better than I do. Because
he's Mr. VIP. I won't disagree with that. I mean, but hey, come Saturday, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I want to thank you for coming on here tonight on the program, and I want to congratulate KZW on Facebook for reaching over 6K followers. For the page there. That's amazing right there. How do you feel about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's phenomenal. We had over the weekend, we were getting close to 6,000. We were like, hey, let's go ahead and push this over the top. Let's get 6,000. So collectively we sent out some invites, and it worked out really well. And I would say within a short period of time, we'll be at 7,000. Before the end of the year, my personal goal is to have 10,000 and not stopping. I mean, we're not going to, be content with 10,000, 15, 20, whatever it takes, but it's going to be really good, really good.
It is.
We have a lot in store, a lot of different shows coming up. We have, just a little quick tidbit here. After Cage Fury, the very following Saturday, we have September 21st at the National Guard Armory in Williamsburg, Kentucky. Bell time 7:30 there. And then on October the 5th, we'll be back at Monticello, Kentucky at the Senior Citizen Center, 7:30 bell time. And then back at Shopville, October 12th, again, bell time 7:30. And I'm sure there'll be other things in between and after that as well. But that's just a few other shows we have coming up as well.
Okay. Awesome. And I do want to say that I feel like Podcasting Network is responsible for, and I feel that what we do on our end promoting KCW to getting you to the 6,000 followers, I feel that what we do promoting and sharing everything on social media there on Facebook and mention and dropping word on and hashtagging KCW on Twitter on our Podcasting Network account, I feel that we've helped with that.
And without a doubt.
And I want to just, since we're talking about social media, I want to ask here before we close, where can people find more of KCW at on social media and yourself?
Yeah, with KCW, they have their own, Facebook page, Kentucky Zone Wrestling on Facebook. And as to contact me, this is Jeremy Hines on Facebook. You'll see my ugly mug. That's my profile picture. So, but that's it's pretty much all I have right there. But yeah, the Kentucky Zone Wrestling on Facebook. We have have a very interactive fan page. Get in there, send comments, pictures, whatever. We have interviews we do. We have upcoming shows. We have so much information loaded on the fan page. Any show coming up, any information, anything. Period. Fan accesses that to be able to find out anything KCW.
Nice. That is awesome, and thank you for taking time out tonight and coming on here. And speaking of social media, I do want to mention that Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. You can find more shows such as the Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, the Squared Circle City Show, Final Score, ELS Uncut, the Deleted Wrestling Podcast, Wrestle Popcast, Best Friends Podcast Show, and much, much more on podcastcity.net. You can follow them over on Facebook, Podcast City Network, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. Subscribe to them on YouTube for video podcast on Podcast City Network YouTube, and over on their Twitch channel. Be sure to follow them over on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. And you want more of the Everett Lee Show?
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of the Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like The Everett Lee Show on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, Twitter, at the Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
Next week on the podcast, I will have none other than wrestler Billy Starks. She will be on the podcast next Wednesday night on September 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Streaming live on twitch.tv/The Everett Lee. And be sure to follow me right here on twitch.tv/The Everett Lee for interviews, podcasts, and much, much more each and every week right here. And that, my friend, is the end of the show. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and giving their feedback in the chat. Everett Lee signing off, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of the Everett Lee Show.